The Mausoleum of Galla Placidia is a short walk from the Basilica of San Vitale, and although it may seem isolated, this building was leaning with a porch demolished in 1602 against the Church of the Holy Cross, which is located just across the street. This building, anyway, does not accept the remainings of Galla Placidia, the empress on behalf of her son Valentinian III, since she died in Rome and was probably buried in the mausoleum of the Theodosius family at San Pietro in Vaticano. At first sight, the building looks very simple, almost bare, decorated only with some masonry elements in the Romanesque style. This unadorned exterior acts as a counterbalance to a lively and chromatically rich interior, perhaps to symbolize the splendor of the soul and spirituality compared with a more unpretentious exteriority. A curious element to note is represented by a pine cone on the top, a symbol of classical derivation that invokes perfection and immortality. Entering the mausoleum, you immediately notice the Greek cross plan, and you are greeted by a multitude of polychrome mosaics. The barrel vault, which opens immediately above the entrance, places the visitor in a night, placid atmosphere that dominates the entire building and testifies that, unlike Roman mosaicists, Byzantine artists used mosaic technique not only as a decorative technique but also binding it tightly to the place where they were. The lunette above the entrance depicts the Good Shepherd. Christ is represented here at a young age and without a bird, surrounded by some sheep. His dress is golden as well as the halo and the great cross he is leaning against, while the roof is purple. The round nimbus indicates the universe. Christ is light, sun, east. The scene has a sky blue color, not yet golden like other Byzantine mosaics, tangible sign that the mosaic taste still shows traces of the late Roman aesthetic style. On the other hand, also Christ himself, if it weren't for the religious symbols placed in context, would remind Orpheus enchanting animals. Diametrically opposed to the lunette showing Christ, you find the one with San Lorenzo, dressed in white, holding the book and the cross, setting off to his torment on the gridiron. The scene is not made in the brutality of the death, but in the glory of eternal life, pointed out by the fluttering garments of the saint and the four Gospels found in the cubicle on the left. Moving towards the center of the room, above your heads is a wonderful starry sky that the mosaicist made with considerable perspective effect. Stars are giant around the symbols of the four evangelists in the corners and get smaller as you proceed toward the top to give more prominence to the cross, representing the deity, in the central part. The sky is represented through concentric circles, and the pictures in the middle reminds of the Apocalypse of John, according to which, when heaven opens, you will see a great light and the Lord will show up to judge. In each of the four lunettes of the central tambour there are two apostles, dressed in white as Roman senators, and in the center of each scene a small vase where two doves are drinking. The dove refers to some biblical passages, from the episode of Noah until the baptism of Christ by John the Baptist, without forgetting that it is a representation of the Spirit of God that was fluttering on the waters as indicated by Genesis. The shells over the head of the apostles are the symbol of Venus. The goddess should be born from one of them, and they are referred to their rebirth to a new life in the heavenly kingdom. In the two remaining lunettes, there are two very similar scenes of deer drinking at the source of life, surrounded by a prosperous nature symbolized by large acanthus. It's a peaceful image of the afterlife. The whole building is decorated with vines which refer to the words of Jesus Christ. I am the vine, you are the branches. In the building there are 3 sarcophagi, one attributed to Galla Placidia according to tradition, the other one to her husband Constantius III, and the last one for her son Valentinian III.